Members, this bill is a bill under Title 49 of our code to specify that private schools pre-K through 12 have the ability to develop their own firearms policy. Under current law, private schools K through 12 are already vested with that ability. This bill simply expands K through 12 to pre-K through 12.
This type of legislation continues to prevent us from doing the work that we are supposed to do, which is protecting the most vulnerable in our state, which are our children. We really need to be focusing on and prioritizing and working on and coming to the well about our big issues that resolve the gun violence epidemic in the state of Tennessee. That's what we need to be doing, not allowing private schools to have handgun carry permit policies that could, in effect, lead to more people going into schools with our children with weapons. Thank you, Speaker and sponsor. I have to say, I am appalled that this legislation is before us again. Look, we don't need to be giving people policies that allow for them to bring firearms into schools. And I believe my colleague and friend, he's going to say, well, this bill simply says we're going to expand this to pre-K just like it is for other private schools. But the message that we are sending as a body is wrong. At a time when gun violence is the #1 killer of our children in this state, as we still deal with the wake of the school shooting here in our own community where this capital is, we do not need to be putting forward legislation like this that is giving private schools license to have handgun carry policies that could allow for more guns to be allowed in our schools. I'm also deeply troubled by the hypocrisy for private schools compared to public schools. And if you read the fiscal note here, Tennessee Code subsection 39-17-1309 establishes certain criminal offenses for carrying weapons on private school property, but exempts persons permitted to carry a handgun on a private K-12 school's property by the school's handgun carry policy. But if a person in a public school were to go on to that property with a handgun, it would be a criminal offense automatically. And so what we are allowing, and what I am frustrated by with this legislation, and the reason I think my colleagues, we should not support it, is that we do not need to have policies, laws, and legislation that is further increasing the possibility of allowing more people to come to our schools with handguns or with firearms. You all know that in our state, due to terrible legislation passed by the General Assembly, you no longer even need a permit to carry a gun. And now it is making it so that private schools will be able to have very low restrictions for people who bring guns into schools. And I am curious, sponsor, if the students who are there or the teachers who are there are, forgive me, if the students and the teachers are there are admitting or signing a document that they are okay with a handgun carry policy that could further endanger their children. You know, this type of legislation, it isn't addressing emotional and psychological trauma of gun violence. It is not helping kids. It is not preventing tragedies. The truth is, sponsor, the truth is, kids aren't just at school. We've got to be holistic in how we approach this problem of gun violence, because nearly every day in my district, in our community, we are dealing with the ramifications of legislation that does not address the root causes of problems. And instead, we hear, as I'm sure we will, that this is just administrative. It's a very small change. When what we really need to be focusing on and prioritizing and working on and coming to the well about our big issues that resolve the gun violence epidemic in the state of Tennessee. Instead of focusing on the root causes of the problems, we're looking to give more leeway to private schools. This isn't how we should be governing to address the epidemic that we are living in. And I fear that allowing private schools this tacit encouragement to have laws or to have regulations like this is actually us giving tacit encouragement for more people to bring weapons into places where they should never be. That's why I am voting against this legislation, and is why I encourage each and every one of you to vote against it as well. Thank you.